everyone, and welcome to the Velvet Veil. We are now on YouTube, which is super exciting. I have been running my Instagram page. Most of the subscribers, viewers probably follow me on Instagram. I've been doing that page for about a month and a half, and it's so fun. It's so fun. I get really good feedback from you guys, and I enjoy it. I know y'all have told me you enjoy it, and that makes me so happy. But now that I am digging a little bit more into my just fascination with paranormal investigation, I am realizing that Instagram videos debriefing these investigations that are 15-20 minutes long, it's just not conducive. It's just not a good platform for that. So moving forward, any of my paranormal investigations, debriefing with the history and the data of the investigation, they're going to be here. I'm going to obviously on Instagram put all of my things about the investigation, more real-time stuff. I'm going to take snippets from here and put it there. Pictures mostly going to be over there. But yeah, I just thought like me talking and going through the data I've collected and everything and the experiences I have, I just felt like YouTube would be just a better platform. So welcome, glad y'all are here, and let's get started. So I went on an investigation actually in Radford, Virginia last weekend at the St. Albans Sanatorium. And a few of you may know St. Albans. It was a Lutheran preparatory boys' school back in the 1890s, and then in the early to mid 1900s, it transitioned to a hospital by Dr. King. And in the area, it was one of the only medical facilities and hospitals in Radford, Virginia at the time, so they just kind of took on a little bit of everything. And when I started my page, I was like, okay, I want to do this, that, and the third. But I really want to get started on these investigations. I want to geek out, weird out, and do what I really love. So I saw this on their website. I was like looking up, places I could publicly investigate just to get started, and then maybe do more private stuff. But St. Albans popped up, and they just do this all the time, you guys. They are a haunted attraction in the fall, but they do private investigations, they do public, they do flashlight tours. Like, they're just very well versed in this and people who want to come do this. So I thought this was just a really good place to start. And it's not far. It's like an hour 50 away, which is fantastic. It just started like pouring down rain. This is great. But anyways, so not far away, perfect for first investigation. So they do it like once a month, these public ones. So I bought my ticket. It was like around 30-ish bucks, whatever. For 5 hours, it was going to be a 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. investigation. Split up into 5 sections where you get a 45-minute investigation in each section. And we had like 2 or 3 like bathroom water breaks during the whole thing. And it was just as hot inside as it was outside. It was like 9 degrees, just fantastic. Sweated my ass off the entire time. But no, so I signed up for it, and when I bought the ticket, I didn't know like a numerical count. I'm gonna sneeze. No, I'm not. Okay. I thought I was gonna sneeze, y'all. But no, I did not know a numerical count of like, am I one of 10? Am I one of 30? Like, how many people can come to this? How many tickets are there? I had no clue. And up until last week before my investigation, I looked online just to like make sure I hadn't missed any of the instructions and everything, like when I'm checking in and stuff, and just trying to find it and get there. I saw that the tickets had sold out. I was like, okay, so tickets have sold out. Like maybe it'll be a decent sized crowd. Didn't know. Fast forward to Saturday, all weekend I stayed in this gorgeous, not to change, whatever, but I stayed in this gorgeous B&B, the Oaks Victorian Inn, Christiansburg, Virginia. Check it out. 10 out of 10, fantastic. Just antique heaven. I absolutely loved it. But so Saturday, I drove by before check-in at like 2:30, just to kind of scope out the area to see where I needed to park, where I needed to go in. It was closed to the public anyway, so found that out. Got there about 6:15-ish because they wanted you there to check in at 6:30. So I got there like 6:15, 6:20. And y'all, there were like a ton of cars there. Not in the volunteer parking where like staff was going to be. In the event parking, a ton of people. I was not expecting that at all, which is fun. But there was already a line waiting to like register and get your little wrist bracelet and all the things, which was just crazy. I knew it was public, but you still had to buy a ticket, you know. So I figured it couldn't be that public. Like, I don't know. I just wasn't expecting that many people. There was already like 30 people there, you know, and it was like 10 till like check-in. So fast forward to debriefing, like 5 till 7, there was almost 55 people there. I, of course, was in the biggest group, I think because I was there solo. There was like 13 people in our group. It was insane. And, you know, people came all different ages. I'm talking I'm 31, but there were younger. There were some double my age there, which is cool, which is great. I love it. Just some people were just happy to be there. Some people just brought their flashlights, their phones, cameras. Some people brought equipment like I did. There was one group, y'all, that had like a video camera, boom speaker mic thing, like a tripod. They were doing like Ghost Adventures stuff. It was legit. Okay, good on them. They probably do a YouTube channel too, and it's probably amazing. But no, so we get split up and we go into all these different sections in the sanatorium, right? And I'm going to break it down for you, and I'm going to tell you kind of the history behind some of the main rooms and stuff I went to. I'm going to break down a little bit some of the experience I had. In the next episode, I like to go into more of the data collection I got, but this one I just kind of want to get an overview of the first investigation that I've ever really done, and St. Albans in general. So we get, you know, we're in our groups, we start. The guides brought equipment. They brought like legit equipment, spirit boxes, you know, thermal imaging. They brought dot tools, like red dot, green dot tools. Anyways, and so throughout the entire night, I had 2 guides actually I had like 3 guides in my group. But they would set up, and like for people who were just happy to be there that didn't bring anything, you know, they would try to go in those hot spots in certain areas we would investigate and like do their investigation and like show, you know, those who came on the investigation, like, this is what it means to do this. These are the questions, these are the tools, and they would do their own thing. And that was really cool. I kind of found it a little, and this is just me, a little annoying that when the guides are doing their stuff in the hot spots, because like people who come that are not doing their own, like that are just there to be there, that didn't bring anything to conduct their own investigations with, I just thought that should have been saved for them in those hot spots at the time. But y'all, when I tell you, everybody in my group, every time in a hot spot, congregated, and everyone brought out their tools and stuff all at once. So I just split off every single time and did my own thing, which is cool. I don't think I'll ever do a public investigation this big. I don't think so. No hate on it. It is what it is. It was hard to collect data because of how loud when 10 people are asking questions and doing their, like the spirit box, it picks up on FM, you know, AM like frequencies. There's white noise. Everyone's talking. I felt rude trying to do my own stuff with my flashlight and equipment because I thought I was interrupting their investigation. So that's what I'm getting at. No hate, no shame on any of these investigators. I absolutely love it. I'm one of them. I just felt like I was just getting in the way. So I just constantly stayed to myself, which was even better. I thought I was going to pee my pants, be scared half the time by myself. I was not. I was very proud of myself. But so that's kind of what it looked like the majority of the time. I've sat in on a few of, you know, when the guide was doing their stuff, trying to interact with the spirits. I sat in a few times, but it was just a lot of interjecting, and I didn't feel like it was very intimate, and I just didn't feel like I was going to get good readings. Because, y'all, this is my first investigation. Of course I want to capture something. Of course I do. I want to give y'all some great stuff. And I did get something on my camera, and it's on Instagram. And we'll talk about that in the next episode. But I just really wanted to do my own thing to, like, see if I could do it, right? Like, it's weird asking out loud questions to spirits you think are there or not there. So that's kind of what the investigation looked like. So I kind of know that moving forward, I would like to have a more intimate, I don't mind a group setting, just maybe a little bit more intimate, a little bit more, not revered, but just, I don't know. And it was serious. Like, I'm telling y'all, these people were legit doing their stuff. I would just like a more intimate setting moving forward. But this is what I brought, you guys. Okay, so I have my flashlight. Y'all know what a flashlight is. I brought my thermal imaging camera. Okay. She is fantastic. It's an infrared thermal imaging camera. So what it does, it just heat sensors. Okay, so like is where on the camera I would pop up and be, red, yellow, orangey color. Anything with a cooler temperature is gonna be that blue, purple color. And that's what spirits would be. Okay, and this is, I really don't want myself in it. Hello. See, I'm red and my mouth is red, but everything cooler, blue, green. So I brought that, which was really cool. I have not even looked at any of my pictures yet for that. I was doing my digital recording stuff first. I brought my EMF reader. Ta-da! Yeah, she's great. So basically, the building, the sanatorium, power completely off, right? So it will be 0 the entire time. Yeah. But now if I put it up to, I don't know. Is it going to beep over that? No, because it's off right now. But if I put this up to like my light switch or anything that's like got power right now, this number right here is going to shoot up. Okay. Lots of energy readings. And it also does a radio frequency, whatever, like the radio frequency, the energy it emits, it's going to pick up on that too. And y'all, I realized, I was like, why does this RF number keep going up? And I was like Googling in the middle of the investigation. I felt like an idiot. But anyways, and so I was trying to record it because I was like, oh my gosh, am I getting spikes? But when my phone went towards it, and I didn't realize this after I Googled, it would just spike up and go crazy. Well, it's picking up on the cellular towers in the area, but also 5G. So I was like, okay, that's debunked, which that's not really the reading. I'm looking for the EF reading. And then, y'all, I brought my digital recorder with my little mic. Okay. She was fantastic. I thought I was going to have to do this the whole time, but I found in the box that they gave me a mic off of Amazon. Fantastic. All of this off of Amazon. It's great. So those are the tools that I brought. I do want to bring a spirit box next time, which is that white noise that reads off of FM, AM frequencies, that is believed that spirits can use to put out like actual like words and communication, and then you can hear it like through that white noise. It'll be like death, or like random words you'll hear, or like phrases. Okay. So that is a tool, an expensive tool, that I really want for next time, and we'll see if we get there. But the guides use that a lot, and I was like, oh my gosh, I really want to do it. Anyways, so those are the tools I use the entire time. Let's talk about the history though. So some of the rooms, and I'm just gonna get comfy, okay? I don't know how to be proper on here. I need like a studio and a desk and a thing and all the, yeah. And I'm scratching, like this is itchy. I don't know why I put this on. It's 100 degrees outside. I just thought it was cute. Anyways, so the history behind the sanatorium. I'm going to talk about a few major spots. The sanatorium, that I, like I said, call hot spots. where there's just a lot of history on and like really interesting stories. So I talked about a few of them briefly in a reel I posted on Instagram, but we're going to talk about them now. So one of the rooms we went to was upstairs near the attic space, and it was Rebecca's room. So Rebecca was a female patient that came either already pregnant or she was impregnated like right when she got there. She ended up having a child in her room who was stillborn, unfortunately. And it was said that she was so scared that the doctors were going to take her baby away. She put the baby in a jar and hid it in her closet in a crawl space. And then later they did find the baby in a jar. And the next day she killed herself. So when I went to that room, there was like an altar with like some toys and roses set up, you know, a tribute to her and her baby. Well, y'all, I have a son, a toddler son, who is my little spooky boo, the light of my life. And I went into that room and I felt really inappropriate. I felt like I was invading her space. I felt like it was a slap in her face, or to whomever's, even if it's just a rumor, just the energy around that. I just felt, I don't know, like I shouldn't be in there taking pictures, because like, and I'll share pictures, but I have pictures of, you know, the room, the closet, the like the little crawl space that she put the jar in. I just didn't feel right. So I know on my digital recorder, I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, thank you for allowing me to be in your space. I'm out. And I felt bad too, because like I have my baby, you know, I felt terrible. So, and there was speaking of children, there was another room. It's called Jacob's room there. And it's got like a cute little like toddler day bed in there. It's got toys that people have brought that they've put in there for Jacob. Jacob was an orphan child that was left on the doorstep at St. Albans. And he passed away there. And so there's a little rocking horse in there. And we did a lot of, the group did a lot of work in that room. I got to go in there a little bit myself. I haven't listened to any of my digital recordings, but I didn't get any recordings on any of my other tools in that room. So we'll see. But that's behind Jacob's room. And if y'all hear tapping, it's my Great Dane. And if you're familiar on Instagram, you've met Apollo. Hey, I'm recording here. Dud, what are you doing? Anyways, like a dang hippo. But no, so that was upstairs. There was also the attic, and are you kidding me? I love you too. Okay, go lay down. Go lay down. Ooh. So, go. Okay, done. Hey, okay, go lay down. Come on. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If I don't talk to him, he won't stay. Hey y'all, sorry, my video cut off. Any interruptions we get on here, it's gonna be from my 3-year-old and my pupper. So yeah, welcome to the family. No, but like I was saying, so went into Rebecca's, Jacob's room, and then we went downstairs to the boiler room and bowling alley. They say there's a lot of things that go on at the end of the bowling alley where like the pins drop and are collected and everything. I didn't really get a chance to explore that. That's where the group was at most of the time. So I just didn't get a chance to mess around. But the boiler room, they do say, and I walk in there and all up on the boiler are cigarettes, like unlit new cigarettes. They say if you bring a cigarette, one of the guys that used to work there will like respond and, you know, will come through. And so you can have experiences if you like bring an offering, something he apparently really liked. So that was interesting. And then there was the electroshock therapy room and the phlebotomy room and the floor above it, where we went to too. The phlebotomy room was pretty cool actually. they had it kind of decorated a little bit for Halloween, but it was still really, really neat to see. And then the electroshock therapy room. So I went into there, and y'all, I again just felt, I don't know, it was just like a really dense feeling, because that was just a terrible treatment, okay? They did electrotherapy, hydrotherapy there at the sanatorium. I just don't like that practice. I just don't. And so they had placards everywhere in these hot spots, right? Just for like to tell a little bit about history, a little bit about the room. And on the placard for the electrotherapy room, it mentioned that patients knew they were going to go into it if they weren't fed that day. I can't imagine that kind of treatment. I can't imagine. And you know, I don't know. I'm sure maybe doctors thought it served its purpose. I'm not a medical professional. Don't claim to be. I don't know. It just made me feel bad. And then there was the morgue and the hydrotherapy room. The morgue, I don't know. For a hospital, it didn't feel like a morgue to me, you guys. It really, I don't know, it didn't feel like one at all. Like I didn't, like there was one room where there was like a big drain, and I'm assuming things happened in there, but it was just not what I expected it to be. But the hydrotherapy room, again, the group, there's a little bitty room, like the size of my guest bathroom, y'all. And there's this tub in there, right? Hydrotherapy with water. And they all were like piling in the tub. They were sitting around it, which is cool. Immerse yourself in the environment, try to get on the level of the spirits. I get it. But it was just a lot. And like they had the door shut, and they were in there the entirety of that 45 minutes that we were in that section. So I didn't get to do anything at all with the hydrotherapy room, which was really unfortunate for me. But anyways, moving forward, teach their own. Maybe we'll go back. Maybe we'll go back and do a private investigation instead of a pop-up one. We also went upstairs to the attic where there are suicide bathrooms. That's what they called them up there. The bathrooms were in the rooms. I don't know. I didn't really read a ton up on that, but there were a ton of suicides clearly committed in that upstairs area. Another area we went to was the alcoholics ward, and there was this gigantic cross in the middle of this main room, and then there were other little patient rooms for sobering up, where they kept them in isolation basically. And again, when I went down there in the hot spot, the guides had set up, spirit box, a flashlight, red dot, EMF reader like mine. They'd set it up there, and there was liquor bottles, there were cigarettes, all sitting on the base of this cross, and the guys were starting to play Johnny Cash, and apparently some of the spirits down there like their liquor. Clearly it was the alcoholics ward where they were trying to sober them up, and at the time I guess Johnny Cash was appropriate, so we did, and I'll post some of those. I did hang out. That was the one group time where I did hang out with the group, and it was really cool to see some of the readings. Everybody was kind of in tune with what was going on, all the other investigators, so that was really cool. And I will post on the next episode some of the findings where I recorded over what they were doing and everything, some of the findings we got. So that one was actually really cool. But this is where I had my, in what we call the peekaboo hallways, where there's long hallways, lots of door frames, where if you take and I talked to us on Instagram, if you take simultaneous pictures, it's said that you can catch more spirits popping their heads out of the door frames, right? So that was really interesting, and that's where I caught a sighting. We'll talk about it next week, or you can see it on Instagram. But anyways, yeah, we'll talk about that. But So we went there too. Those hallways gave me the heebie-jeebies a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. And then we went to one of the other wards was more of it was like where there were classrooms for the preparatory school, and then it also turned into the male section of the sanatorium as well. So lots of classroom settings, lots of rooms in that section we investigated. There was an outdoor recreation center it's called The Cage, and it was all caged up. It was kind of crazy, but there were remnants of like a shuffleboard court, which was kind of eerie, kind of weird. I'll post pictures of these two. Old, like lantern wired lights. I don't know, y'all. I don't even know what they're called. I don't know. But they're super old, like the tile was all broken up. It was a weird, I don't know, the outside was really weird. I think the group got some stuff in there too, but all in all, it was very, very interesting. I learned that as an investigator, I want a more private, intimate investigation. Not a fan of these. And now I met some great people. I had a group of, there was a couple that was from Canada. They moved down to Virginia. He's a professor at Virginia Tech. Sweetest couple. They didn't bring anything with them, so they were just happy to be there, and we used some of my tools. And they were very, very sweet, y'all. And the guides were great. They were very knowledgeable. I don't want an investigation moving forward in a huge group. I want it to be more intimate. But all in all, it was really, really interesting. And I'm going to tell y'all what. Where they have it set up for their haunted attraction come September, October, I about peed my pants a million times, because they had these, and I'll share pictures, they had these mannequins set up on the door frames, and you would walk, and of course, like, you're like, I don't know, I'm previous law enforcement, so I was like pining to the door frames because they're just weird, and they were right there in the door, and I was like, holy shit, like, I was getting so scared. And one of the rooms downstairs is called the Dragon Room. It's like a recreation room for the kids. A really interesting painting that a patient did there too, of a dragon that he never finished. There was a little boy mannequin, a little kid, like, and so they had like real shoes, like children's shoes on him, like in a hoodie, like this, so you couldn't see him. I about peed my pants. It was crazy. Also, funny story, we kept hearing this scratching noise, and of course you're like, oh my God, it's a ghost, it's a something. I pulled out my thermal imaging camera, and I started looking. I was like, what is this red dot? And y'all, I talked to you earlier about how that's like a heat, right? The red color on a thermal heat. I was like, what is this red circle? I'm like looking, and it starts to move, and my brain's still not picking up. And I don't say anything out loud. I'm like, what is this? And I start following it. It gets closer and closer and closer to my feet, but I'm like stuck in this camera just looking. It was a mouse. It was a mouse. It scared them. I've got it on my digital camera, y'all. I know I do. Or my digital recorder, because I accidentally forgot to turn it off, so I record for 30 minutes straight. I know I've got it on there. I'm going to share that. I've got a picture of the little mouse on my camera too. I'm going to share that too. It was just really funny. But yeah, all in all, I mean, it was a cool, interesting investigation. I kind of learned that I don't mind just talking into the abyss. You don't know if they're listening. You don't know if they're there. You don't know if you're going to yield any results and you're going to get anything. So you're just putting stuff out there. But I've learned that I don't mind that. And it is what it is. What's the worst? I don't get anything, and you may not. And it's just fun. The history is what made it really cool. The building was fantastic. The pictures are awesome. I can't wait to share with y'all all the digital recording evidence and thermal imaging. Hopefully I got stuff on that, because that would be really sweet on the thermal. But yeah, so hopefully this first episode was cool. I know it's a little long. Don't really know what I'm doing. I'm going to hone in on it. But yeah, thanks for just watching me and subscribing, and stay tuned for the next episode. We'll be putting out all of my evidence, and we're going to debrief it, debunk it maybe, or maybe we can't prove it, and maybe I am a true ghost hunter now. So, yeah, y'all stay tuned and enjoy.